So if you're coming from my last video, you already know what this video is about. Well, you probably know what this video is about anyway from the title. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit about self-harm. And I might get a lot of hate for this video, or a lot of likes. I don't really know. Or maybe no one's gonna watch it. I don't know. I just wanted to start this video off by saying that I'm not just somebody who has opinions on self-harm. I am someone that went through it. I cut myself for a long time, probably over the span of seven years. So I'm not just someone who doesn't know anything about it. Like, I was right there with you guys. If you're watching this and you had a problem with self-harm, I would show you my scars, but I don't think you can see them because I'm recording on my phone. But I just wanted to let you guys know that even though at the time you feel so overcome with emotion and you're in so much pain that you feel that the only solution you see at the time is to cut yourself, or whatever you do, you pick up your knife or your razor or whatever it is you use, and you just do it, and you think it's gonna help you, and you think it's helping you. You think it's helping you the whole time until you realize that it never was. After the stinging goes away, after it stops bleeding, the problems that caused you to do that in the first place are still there. They're still there. And they're still just as painful as they were before. And now you have scars. And my opinion on scars are that they're not shameful. I have scars. I'm not ashamed of them. It's for me, it's just that shows that you had a past, that you went through something. Everyone has scars, whether they wear them on their arms or their legs or even inside themselves. Everyone has scars. I wear mine on my arms. It's just it. And I just wish that I could go back in time and tell myself what I'm going to tell you guys now. There are other options. I'll talk about some things that I do to help myself not cut, because I still think about it sometimes. Sometimes I'm so upset or so overwhelmed by emotion that I'm just like, I want to cut myself, and everything will be perfect. And I'm going to tell you guys some things that I do to stop myself from doing that. The first thing I do is write. If I think about cutting, I write. Whether it's a song, or I journal, or a poem. I write to kind of try to get over that feeling in your head that that that's the solution. Another thing I do, that I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I'm sure, like, if you guys watch, like, my videos, if you watch my music channel, my main channel, you might notice this. I have this tattoo on my wrist. This is, Que Sera Sera, what will be, and it's there to remind myself that, you know, things change, things are always changing. Things don't stay the same for very long. And yeah, you might go through a very long period, or a long period, just in general, where you have bad depression, or whatever it is that ails you, but it always changes. But if you're not here, then nothing can change. Nothing can get better. So I tattooed it on my wrist, and my mom forever was always like, that tattoo's so stupid. Why would you do that? Until I finally told her why, and then she's like, oh, okay, I don't think it's stupid anymore. It really does help me to look at that. Sometimes it brings me back down, because I tend to spiral. I get a thought in my head, and it goes and 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 goes. And that's when I used to cut myself. So now I look at that and I'm like, okay, you know what? What's gonna happen is gonna happen, and I have no control over it. I'm gonna take a step back and slow myself. Another thing I do is just generally I play my instruments. I find that very, very comforting. If you don't know how to play an instrument, learn one. Because music definitely is like a good form of medication. Whether, even if you just sit there and you watch YouTube videos like this one, you know, I'd be very, very sad if I found out one of my subscribers hurt themselves, because it's not necessary. You don't have to do it. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, like you can't handle life, and all those feelings, we know. Like, I know those feelings. If you guys haven't watched my videos before this, if you look at, there's a few videos. One called No More Secrets, where I share all my secrets with you. That one talks about, cutting. Other video. Oh, that also, in the No More Secrets video, it states that I've been hospitalized 3 times, which is true. I've been hospitalized 3 times for suicidal ideation and 1 attempt at suicide. Then there's another video entitled I'm Alive, which was taken the day after I got out of the hospital, before I entered an IOP program, which is an intensive outpatient program that I went into. That was for my attempt. And I learned a lot there. I learned that I'm not alone. I always felt so alone. Mental illness isn't something that's talked about very often. It's something that's almost got this shamefulness to it. But it's an illness. It's not something that you can help. It's not a character flaw. You know? If you ever feel so overwhelmed or think about that you're thinking about ending your life, there are always things you can try. It's worth it. Your life is worth it to make that one more effort. Because even if you've been in the hospital, I was in the hospital 2 times. You know, and then the 3rd time I just given up. But that third time was the one that helped me. It could be your 6th time or your 7th time, but eventually you can get help. I didn't think that there was help for me. I really didn't. You can always go to your local emergency room. You can always go to your school counselor. You can always call the suicide hotline. You can always message me here on YouTube. You can always email me at katecristina4@gmail.com. All of these things you can do. You give your life a chance because you're worth it. Every person that you make contact with, you change in some way. Just saying hi to someone or smiling at them could change someone's whole day. And you're robbing these people of this chance to know you. And it's not fair. And you shouldn't feel that way, and you don't have to. You really don't have to feel that way. I know that's something that you might not believe right now, but someday you might be like, oh, remember that video I watched? That girl was right. I didn't have to feel that way. And I can be on medicine, or I can go to therapy, or I can seek help. I didn't have to feel that way. Maybe the first time you look for help, it doesn't work for you. There's so many different medicines, which I was very, very opposed to. I don't like medicine. I don't like to take medicine, but I have to. It's almost the same thing. Like, if you were sick, if you had diabetes, you would take your insulin because that keeps you alive. My medicine keeps me alive. It keeps me able to think clearly, because when you have depression, you are not thinking clearly. Just case in point, you don't think clearly. And you don't realize that you're not thinking clearly. And I'm sure there are people watching this video going, yeah, I know exactly what I'm thinking. No. What you're thinking is very, very twisted. It's very... I can't explain it. It's very fuzzy. It's like you're only seeing half of the picture. And it's the bad half. So, like, if a kindergartner and an artist drew a picture, you're only seeing the side the kindergartner drew. You're not seeing the beautiful art on the other side. And I don't want you guys to be in so much pain. And, you know, maybe you like my opinion, maybe you don't, but just in general, just please give yourself a chance to live. I know some of you are young, pretty young. You don't want to suffer with this for so long. You don't have to suffer with this for as long as I did. There's help. And you can always contact me for help. And you can always call the suicide hotline. And you can always go to your local emergency room. And you could always go to a therapist. There are other options. And I really hope if this video helped one person, that would make me so happy. Because I think that the world deserves more people. And lives cut short. Maybe you could be the one that cures cancer. Maybe you could find the cure for depression. You don't know unless you live your life. Please, please live your life. Bye, guys.